everyone, Joe here, and today I wanted to discuss what to look out for when joining an organization on the sales team. Now, many people want to get into sales for the money. They see on-target earnings of $250, $300, $350,000 plus a year. And many figure, as long as, I hit my number and I do the right thing and I get my base salary plus my commissions, I'll be making a ton of money. But it is certainly easier said than done, especially if you're not prepared to analyze organizations, ask the right questions, and really understand the business side of things so that you can make an informed decision when looking at one sales position from the next. So I wanted to really dial in on what key things you need to figure out before joining an organization. The first metric that I would take a look at is the product market fit. Is the product that you will be selling a industry leader, maybe in the top spot or the second spot, or is it more towards the bottom where, there's a lot of competition? Maybe it's not the preferred vendor, it's not the preferred product on the market. And if that's the case, it can be a much tougher sell. Additionally, the product should be able to differentiate itself rather than having a lot of competition that compete on price and other things. So you want to make sure that if you're going to be selling a product, that the market is desiring that product. If there isn't a market fit, if there's no strong correlation there, you can be spending all of your time trying to sell something that, even if it addresses the issue, if the client does not want it, or I should say, if the client does not need it, then you're going to certainly have a harder time selling that product. The next thing that I would like to take a look at is the tenure of individuals within the organization. Typically, if salespeople are performing well, they'll like to stay around for a bit. There is a lot of turnover in sales. I would say most reps will log a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, and if they are doing well and things are going in the right direction, usually many more years than that. But if you're getting indications that people are leaving the company after 3 months, 6 months, a year, and it's not just one or two, but there's multiple that's happening with, that can be a red flag that you're going to want to drill further into. So one way to check on that is to reach out and really try to have a conversation with those that have moved on from the company or from the organization that you're looking to try to get into. The high tenure is certainly one thing to really consider. Additionally, you would like to know what percentage of the reps are achieving quota. If the base salary is $100,000 and your on-target earnings is $200,000, but only 30% of reps are hitting quota, it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to make $200,000 in that role unless you're in a very specific patch that's strong, or the other performers are just not doing their thing. And, I highly doubt that that's the reason why. So if many reps are not near quota, that can be an indicator that the management and the overall financial structure and the overall comp plan is not tailored to making salespeople successful and empowered. Do not take a look at a role based solely on target earnings or total compensation. You really want to analyze how many reps are achieving that and if it's even possible for you to do so as well. It's important to understand business acumen. If you are selling, it is a revenue generating position. Responsibility is to bring in revenue for the company that you work for. In saying that, if the company is growing and they have an earnings per share growth, if they are public, if they are getting funding rounds through the startup phase, if they have a lot of customers that are happy with their product and the financial statements that are presented to you or through research look strong, that can be a positive indicator of an organization that you would like to join. If it appears as though they are struggling and maybe have other financial matters such as debt, having a hard time tapping into the market, maybe the product rollout is not so good, that can be another indicator of a company that can be struggling for at least a few years or for the entire time that you are there. it's important to really look for the key indicators about the finances and about the quota amount that is set per rep for the overall revenue that's expected to bring in and how that translates to your compensation. So it kind of goes back from the business acumen to how those numbers are putting together the comp plan. You almost want to reverse engineer the comp plan to see if it even makes sense. Another thing that I recommend doing is to really keen in on what type of tech is available and learn about the tech that's available to you to perform in this role. So certain organizations may be using various vendors for their technology stack that enables the sales reps to perform their jobs. I would take a look and know if you're using what CRM, what contact, what ERP, what, management of data, and overall the total landscape as to how leads come in and leads go out. So during the interview process, I would certainly be asking on what the current team members typically have for an outbound sequence and an outbound cadence and the tools that they're using, as well as from the website, from marketing materials, and from other types of interactions, how inbound leads come in. Now, inbound leads and outbound leads, outbound is more you're performing action to try to get these conversations started as you're actively prospecting. But inbound is where the customer finds you and the customer wants to have a conversation. Maybe they download a data sheet or watch a video about the product, or they're spending a lot of time poking around the website. You want to really make sure that the technology is enabling a fluid and precise and actionable sales cycle. So this can help with organization. This can help with moving deals through. This can help with finding the right people to talk to. A proper tech stack is powerful for a sales rep. So remember to bring those types of considerations and questions up when interviewing for one of these roles. I personally would also want to look for a company that is going to invest in their sales reps and specifically invest in you. And they can do that in many ways. Companies can provide training, support, mentorships, and even if it's something as a certificate or an online class or an in-person seminar, that maybe it's not very expensive, but they are open to providing you with training and support, even if the costs are minimal, all the way up to more substantial for an additional degree or an MBA or something like that. If you can find an organization that can train you, can foster your growth, and can open up the door to educate yourself, that's something that I find very valuable in an organization when I'm looking for a job. And that's especially important for the younger folks. Maybe they are trying to get an internship or they are fresh out of undergrad studies and they're trying to go into the workforce. This training and this setup can really help them to achieve success much faster. Let's say that you're starting out in sales and you're a BDR, a business development representative, or an SDR, a sales development representative, or even inside sales, and you want a path to a promotion. Some organizations have a much better process to streamline your promotion to where if you are performing in 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, you can move into an account executive or a account manager type role. Now, again, you can take it upon yourself to research on LinkedIn, look at the roles of those that are currently at this organization and see how their career trajectory has been at that company. That can be a strong indicator as to how they handle promotions and employee growth through the years as individuals want to take on more challenges and be exposed to additional tasks and projects at work. This last point is rather obvious, but there are websites such as Glassdoor and RepView, which is specifically for sales individuals, to where they rank and score organizations based on their product market fit, their employee happiness, all of these ratings, percentage of reps hitting quota and whatnot. So it's important to actually research the companies and the organizations that you're interviewing with to actually make sure that they look pretty good based on what current employers are saying. And it can be from all departments. It can be from the engineering side of things. It can be from the management. It can be from the financial, and it can be from the pre-sales and the sales groups as well. So it's important to really see how the overall culture is because a positive culture will make your life a lot easier, as opposed to a culture that is very high in stress, low in communication, unclear with agreements and comp plans, and overall a messy situation that you would want to avoid in your career. Because many years at the wrong organization can waste you a lot of time in your career development, when being at the right organization for 6 months to 2 years can really provide explosive growth to your knowledge, to your compensation, to your growth as an individual at an early stage in your career or at a mid stage in your career. So ultimately, you want to put yourself in an environment that will promote your success, as long as you are willing to work hard, grow, and are flexible in doing the right thing.